Oh my God, everyone. Let me turn that back a little bit. Holy crap. We just... Okay, so welcome into Off Track, everyone. This is the type of show we like to do. All of a sudden, for the visual audience, hopefully they got some visuals there. Miss Rocki with an eye over here getting lovingly attacked by her doggy.
She sure loves to be the center of attention.
I just happened to look down. I see commotion and like it looks like feathers flying.
Brown flailing going around. That's my Jasmine. That's my dopey dog.
I did not. I'm like, what the hell is going on over there? And I thought you were telling me like, stop. And I'm like, I had to focus in there, and there's a dog up in that joint. What's up?
She's coming to hang out with me.
Okay, all right. She wants to be on the radio, doesn't she? She wants to be a big old radio star. Come on.
Sure.
Okay. Well, welcome into Off Track.
Going to be a radio star. That's cool.
Yeah. Welcome into Off Track, everyone. We are, we're just all over the joint tonight. We are completely off track before track even got started, and that's okay because that's just what.
A train wreck before we even started recording.
The whole weekend has been a train wreck for Off Track. And we're not sure how this is going to go. We had originally planned on, we actually planned, and many of you may have known, we sent out tweets and, on the social medias and whatever, about sending us your questions. And honestly, we got all kinds of questions. Some of them we're like, wait, what? Where's this coming from? We were trying to let the audience interview us personally. And we were going to have Miss Rocki here facilitate that. And yeah, we got some, I have not looked at but a few questions. And I think this is the reason I stopped looking at them, because I'm like, okay, that's not relevant to.
I'm looking forward to answering these questions.
Oh, yeah, right. So I quit looking at all the questions because I didn't want to know. But unfortunately, this evening, Melissa Sippy is not here. She's a busy girl.
Oh,
I'm jealous. She has a life, man. She's got a life. We don't. Here we are. Hi. But anyway, Rusty, are you over there stone colding it or what?
yeah, I am. But I wanted to say about the questions, I am personally offended by the questions that Waffle has sent me personally, privately in MeWe. I'm not discussing body part sizes and stuff, so just quit messaging me, Waffle. Stop it.
Let me get this out of the way here.
Isn't that conversation that you boys have amongst each other, though?
No.
No?
Apparently it is.
I always thought that was locker room talk.
That's
Not my locker room.
not my locker. That's disgusting.
I don't know. I've never been in one, so I wouldn't know.
Not in my locker, you don't.
No.
Not
I don't know why they say it and call it locker room talk like that, because you're talking about guys who, when they're sitting there at the urinals, are eyes forward, you don't turn your head, you don't do nothing. So how is it that they assume that that's locker talk?
As far as I'm concerned, locker room talk for me doesn't have anything to do with another dude.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank
Exactly.
you very
Yes.
much.
Unless you're speaking sports.
Yeah, like
They're
not
just
about how big his bat is or anything.
No.
Hey, look, we're not talking about his equipment or nothing.
No,
we're talking about how
So
fast did he run the 40, or how many yards did he run last
Did you see the game last night? So-and-so in Boston.
game? Okay, so Chris has given me cues, but what were you going to say, Rusty?
That just leads me to believe that she is projecting what happens in the women's locker room. Like they go around standing in boob size and, like, oh, look, look at mine. Oh, look at mine.
That is actually not what happened.
That's what you're dreaming.
That's his
I'm
dream.
guessing the girls' locker room talk would be more dirty than the men's.
Yeah.
No idea.
No, I do.
No idea.
You didn't know I was sneaking around locker? No.
I'm sure. You're like ears to the door.
Oh, but hey, okay, so right here in the studios, the Off Track studios, No shit. So there's a room back there in the studios that okay, last weekend I got up about 6, did some things, went back. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lay down for a minute. I lay down and I'm laying there and all of a sudden I hear stuff next door.
That's what like stuff.
Oh, stuff like, actually, I don't want to imitate it. But it was a female and a male voice, and there was moaning and heavy breathing, and some
people were having fun.
They were moving furniture. A man and a woman were moving furniture.
They were moving furniture, and it sounded like it was some big, heavy furniture. Let me tell you. I think I got a hernia and a sciatic nerve busted, a thrown disc, and a head punched through the wall because I almost went, hey, you need to comb your hair, dude.
I
don't know.
When my daughter was growing up, she actually knocked on the door to our bedroom one time and said, "Are you guys wrestling?"
Oh no. Okay, so we're already off track. Here we go. So I was 17 years old. I came in the house, and where the hell's everybody at? I don't know. Do not open your parents' bedroom door.
No.
You will never unsee that. It is burned in the back of my retinas for the rest of my life. I am scarred.
Yell, stand in the aisles, just start yelling. Where is everybody? Don't open.
There you go.
Don't open, and I probably say don't knock either.
Yeah, don't.
Sometimes even when the parents, plan ahead and they lock the door, so that
thank
the
you.
children can't get in.
I lock the door all the time.
Me too. But unfortunately, my mother taught my 7-year-old, now 8-year-old here recently last week, how to open one of those locks with a butter knife.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Now she's going to need therapy.
Looks like Chris is going to be changing the locks in his house sooner than he thought.
Installing a deadbolt.
I already installed the deadbolt.
I told you.
Oh, I like that. The deadbolt. Go ahead, knock all you want. You ain't getting it open, pally.
What is it? What is that thing that they have at schools now to prevent the shooters, the active shooters? They plant it in the. It's like a doorstop. They
call that a doorstop.
Yeah, there's.
I don't know.
It's funny because actually Lowe's, we bought that when we moved to this house because we needed to have a couple of things installed to the doors just because our daughter, because she's special needs, and most kids with special needs have the tendency to elope. They call it eloping. They'll just, find a way to open the door and just run away. And that's how a lot of these cases of kids with autism end up in bad situations. But long story short, we ended up buying a bar and just basically lean it against the door jamb, and it's that thing doesn't move, doesn't budge. So even if someone tries to come in through the front door, or if someone tries to open it without understanding how to disengage it, it's difficult for anybody to go in or get out. So
I'm always trying to figure out how to not how to, but okay, how to engage things.
Because you have to lean it in a certain position, and you have to. It's easy to do.
Positions, huh?
But you have to. You have to. You have to just figure out and stuff. You have to
and stuff.
Given the background that I have behind me tonight, I'm really familiar with how to make things engage.
Engage.
Dang.
Nerd. Oh.
I'm sorry. Who is this guy? Who's this amazing guy all of a sudden?
Oh.
He's pulling the Matt Locke laugh.
I know.
Make it so, number one. Make
it so, number one. You do have the hair.
Can we reference people who are no longer with Mojo?
Hello?
Yeah, sad.
I know, but
we can. Matt, I miss you.
Hey, so
yeah, I do.
So before we go real far here, I wanted to throw something out there here. You guys ever know anything about cat coolers? You guys ever heard anything about this cat?
I've heard of the cat cooler.
Look, Cat Coolers is the officially licensed cat cooler. It's the only cooler tough enough to be called cat, as a matter of fact, like the tractor company. I know them personally, as a matter of fact.
You know Cat personally?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You've met Cat?
Is it Mr. Cat or?
No,
Yeah.
no, there's no Mr. Cat.
I think Mrs. Cat operates it now. Mr. Cat passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Cat always runs it, though.
It's designed for the durable and rigorous needs of the job site. You guys didn't know that?
No. Well,
Yes. You know, hey, this cooler, it take the abuse of a construction industry. And when your workday ends, man, the Cat cooler keeps going with days of ice retention. Days, like up to 7 days.
It goes all night
So
long.
these coolers retain water?
Well, yeah.
Like they're bloated or what?
No, ice. Like it keeps ice cold because that's what ice is, cold. For
Like
up to 7 days.
nice.
And so, which means that you would actually save money every time you don't need to buy ice.
so after the 8th day, you just
Well, yeah,
it's just instant
I
liquid.
think it just evaporates.
It's just poof of smoke. That would be. See, I wish they would make coolers where it would instantly evaporate, so you don't have to dump that crap out.
So anyway, guys, if you're interested in a cat cooler, go over to catcooler.com. And what was that promo code, Rusty? Mojo 50 or Mojo?
I believe it is Mojo
It's supposed to
50.
be your first name, I think, but I don't think my name's on that one. So
I'm half pulling it up right now.
No, I think that the names is for the CBD oils.
I'm pulling it up right now, but as we do it, don't forget that they are fully customizable.
and lifetime warranty.
Lifetime warranty. You drop a brick on it, and nothing happens. And you drop the
brick?
cooler on the brick.
Yeah, 2,500-pound brick.
And I hear that they can keep your stuff cool in your ice for a period of about 7 days. So I've
So
heard.
can they keep hot
allegedly.
things hot or just cold things cold?
I don't
it's
know.
a cooler.
It's a cooler, so
No,
yes,
it-
I would
it can
think the
do-
concept is cold.
No,
We
it
stuck
can-
Rocki in one. Would she still be
No,
hot at the end of the day?
It'll do both. It'll do both, people. It's not. Yeah, it'll do both.
It is catcoolers.com, and the looks like the promo code would be the first name of any of the hosts that's there. I don't see y'all's on there, but you can put whiskey down,
And
or you can
see if that works. And if not, try Mojo 50 or
try that one. You could do
it works. I know that much.
Jeremy,
Steven, too.
Steven.
We prefer if Whiskey 6 worked. Just saying. I mean, since this is off track and all. Anyway, go over to Cat
We
Coolers.
missed something very important today.
What's that?
What are you drinking?
Me?
Oh crap!
Are you asking me what I'm? Someone's asking.
What are you drinking?
Everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, whiskey, you get to go first today. What are you drinking?
I'm just having a Coke, a vanilla Coke, actually. Pretty simple. Well, it's
Wow.
it's okay.
What did you put in it to make it vanilla?
Alcoholic vanilla Coke?
There you go.
Vanilla
I'm-
extract.
No, actually, it's whiskey.
I'm
No.
drinking Bird Dog spiced whiskey. It's okay, you know.
And Mr. Dillon, what are you sucking? on?
I am drinking Bacardi rum and a light dash of like orange juice. It's
like a
mostly
light
rum.
dash because it's more
A
rum than
splash.
juice.
It is. It's mostly for color.
Yeah.
It's a splash of orange
It's a
juice.
splash of orange juice.
So, Rusty, since we're
Wait, you didn't ask Chris what he's drinking.
Not only that, sidebar. Okay, Chris, what are you drinking?
thought he said.
No, he didn't.
The most beautiful beer of the year. It made me so happy when I discovered that the Lining Cool's Oktoberfest has arrived at the grocery store.
Huh, I'm still
Nice.
sitting on summer Sandies down here in Arizona because it's summer more than winter.
Yeah, you guys can keep the summer shandy. This
No,
is the greatest beer of the year.
I like it hot.
That's. I feel it's worth the ring somewhere.
Yes.
So, like I said, we were a little derailed before our show even started.
Just you know how derailed it was. You've named off everybody on the show, but no one knows who the hell I am.
Everyone-
Not that I'm like worried about that, but I know that I don't want
they're
that
never
to be
gonna guess.
when we get to the question part. I don't want that to be the first
Dylan.
question. Is who
His
the
name
hell
was-
is that guy?
Dylan and Devin from the Dylan and Devin and Ryman and Steelan show. If anyone- Anybody out there who listens to Off Track who doesn't know who Dylan Liles is, you're
true.
doing it wrong.
This is true. Just like anybody who doesn't listen to Defenders Live and doesn't know who Whiskey Six is, you're not really listening.
I like the Carrie Malinak chick a lot better than that whiskey guy.
Well, you know what's bad is like
A lot easier on the eyes.
Look, she is more popular on our show than we are.
You know what? I'm not implying. I'm not trying to send a secret message to Ron or anybody, but I would really love for her to have a show on Mojo 50.
Well,
I
I join her all the time on her show because she's freaking awesome. I love the things she talks about.
I
love the everyday life stuff.
That could be explained a little bit later when we're not live. Well,
I think you just gave something away. Thank you very much.
Possibly, but no, what I was gonna say was she is so popular on our show that we've never had anybody actually get upset about, say, myself or Steven not being there. But God help us if Carrie can't make it on a Wednesday, and we're just inundated with tweets and messages and what happened? Where is she? What? And so nobody says anything when Steven rolls out for his concert and I'm left hanging and doing everything, or I'm off on a trip or doing whatever I'm doing. And yeah, nobody cares about that. But God knows Carrie's, gotta have Carrie.
I don't blame him.
I
don't blame them.
Whatever gets people to listen. If it.
Well, what are you paying her? About $100 a show?
At this rate, we may have to start.
Okay.
We need to try to get Carrie. We need to try to get Carrie. Damn.
I think
She's
Carrie.
a lot prettier than you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, not for nothing. I know there's a pile of dog poo in my backyard that's prettier than we are.
Let's not get crazy, guys. I mean, come on.
Don't insult the dog poo.
I mean, look right here. I mean,
look at Rusty.
For the listening audience, he's pointing at himself.
Yes, for those of you that are on radio, on the iHearts and everywhere else, pointing at himself.
Have you seen me?
I mean, come on.
And if not, you should.
With a beard.
Well, I
think we should maybe see if there's anything that's hard. Rusty, is there anything hard?
That's a new sound.
Yeah, I got a little weird story. Pilots were arrested at the UK airport after failing a breath test before a transatlantic flight.
So when your breath stinks, you can't fly?
Well, I guess when it contains alcohol.
So they didn't just forget to brush their teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other kind of breathalyzer.
The halitosis test.
Yeah,
which is kind of scary, to think that somebody's going to be flying me 3, 4, 5 miles in the air. And
no, come on, most of that stuff's automated. Those guys, I guarantee you'd be surprised how many of them pilots have got a little bit of had a little nip before they get in the cockpit. You would be surprised.
And on the same token here, kind of along with what you're saying, but also different subject. I frequent a mine here in Arizona. Is
that a euphemism?
No.
Okay.
I go to a place it's a mine with giant cat equipment to go along with that cat cooler from catcoolers.com. Tractor company. Anyway, every time I go in and leave, think about this, and leave the premises, I got to blow in this thing until it clicks. It's a breathalyzer. So they think I might get drunk while I'm there.
Damn.
Surely
I went down the hill to have a party with your guys who. What the hell are you?
Wow.
Safety precaution, because I'm the way I see it is they probably think that how we all have like our tumblers, like the one that Rusty's drinking from right now. It's they don't know what you're putting in those tumblers. When I'm at job number 2, the only thing that I can drink is water, and it has to be from a clear container. It can't be a double wall tumbler or anything dark. They need to see what you're drinking. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't drink any kind of clear.
Here's what's funny though. They don't inspect a vehicle or anything.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I don't do anything to get my information.
But in your case, you're also operating heavy equipment, so I'm sure that they're just trying to cover their behinds.
My equipment, as a matter of fact, but yes. Yes, it's actually heavy. It's Caterpillar. Catcoolers.com. Just saying. Lifetime warranty, customizable. Russ, go ahead with the news.
Are you sure?
Yeah, please, run faster.
Two pilots were prevented from flying a United Airlines plane after allegedly failing breath tests at Glasgow Airport.
Glasgow, Scotland.
Whatever.
Allegedly?
Ireland.
Allegedly. They were stopped before boarding the flight to Newark, New Jersey on Saturday morning. Both were arrested on suspicion of being under the influence of drink or drugs.
That's so stupid. Because from Ireland to, where did you say it was landing? New Jersey?
Yeah,
Newark, New Jersey.
Come on, man. The only thing they need to be awake for is to get off the ground. Then they hit a button and they sit back and it does its own thing autopilot until about several hours later. They nap, they wake up, they're sober again, they land. It's beautiful.
That's how I do it when I
Going
go
to
to
New
work.
Jersey anyway.
That is just Jersey.
That's just New
I
Jersey.
go to work. Yeah.
It's just Newark.
Look, when I went through Jersey, when I went to New York City, actually, everybody sees and complains, oh, this is what New Jersey is, or this is what New York is. And so I went in very open-minded. I'm going to find out for myself. New York, I was actually very surprised. I'm not a city guy by any stretch of the imagination. I love New York City. Like, I don't know if I could live there, but it's one of the few that if I had to, I might be okay. There are other cities I'm not a fan of. I went through Jersey, though. It is everything. All of the jokes, all of the crap is real. It is literally God's ashtray.
To be exposed to those things.
Ugh,
What?
I hate it. And my first experience was the Turnpike.
Oh, no.
I've always
Be
nicknamed New
exposed to
Jersey
those things.
I've always nicknamed New Jersey the armpit of America.
Yes.
And as someone who lived out on Long Island for a period of about 10 years, New York City is a great place to visit
It is great to visit.
than it is to live there
Yeah,
or live
I
anywhere
that
near
junk.
it.
If I lived, I would have to be in my 20s. It would have to be like Friends. It would have to be that way. If it doesn't work that way, then I couldn't do it.
Not a fan of
we
Long
we stayed in Long Island. Yeah, I stayed in Long Island, Seaford, actually, for about a week or two, and that was fun out there. And $100 a plane or a train trip back and forth every day.
Silver Snail.
Hour trip. That was a lot. But anyway, because I found out that you can't drive in New York City, I thought that, it was like normal other big cities where they have parking decks that you can go into. No, not in New York City. I left the house in front of in Seaford about 11:30 in the morning. I did not get back to the house until about 5, and I never shut the car off once. Like, it was constantly, it was horrible. It was horrible. And that was just trying to drive into Brooklyn. I never forget. But yeah, no, I hated New Jersey because that stupid turnpike cost me $60 to get off of it and get back on it. And then some kid had to pump my gas. Actually, he didn't. I told him that if he touched my car, I'd punch him.
Okay.
I did. He's like, well, I started to get out and I'm walking to the door or walking to the thing to do it. I didn't know.
So if there's a state law that says he has to, and you tell him he's not going to because you're going to punch him in the head, will you get in trouble?
I think so. Well, he was cool and said no, and I gave him $5, and
We're pondering this one when we go to break here, guys. Stick around for Off Track. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the other side, folks. This is your local crazy train stopping into the depot. Pick your ass up so you can go over here and get derailed. Hey, before we get too far, I almost forgot. Some folks have been hard at work for a while and got some things done for us. Yeah, look at Chris over there. He's dancing because
Acceleration dance.
yes,
He's all excited.
So in case you haven't seen it yet, throughout the weekend, the website whiskey6.com is up and running.
Live.
It is live. The website is live. Whiskey 6, that is, and as you know, it's whiskey6ix.com. It is up and live. And no, we do not have the merch yet, but it is coming soon. Hopefully.
I am kind of upset.
Get whiskey all over me.
I'm kind of upset. I went looking for the midget porn links, and I am not seeing them. And I'm really upset about that.
Yes, Davey.
I'm going to work on those midget porn links after we get the merchandise section.
I think that's for rustylugnutz.com.
Right. No.
Yes.
No.
Wait.
Come on.
No, seriously, folks. We are working on the merch aspect of the Whiskey 6. And
it is nearby.
Yeah.
It is a feature that gets built into the website from another website, and it's close.
It's like a chain. There's a bunch of links. Anyway, we're going to end up having shows on there. We do have, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, we have links to prior shows on there already, right?
Yep. On the main page, you hit whiskey6ix.com. You will see a Spreaker thingy there that you can just click, and you can see the last 25 shows.
I thought you said main stage, like there's some stripper coming up.
That's what I was just thinking too.
I'm like,
that's very soon though. Like when Rocki starts asking questions, it'll be coming to the main stage, gorgeous Rocki.
No, it's Rocki the Gorgeous, #1, and #2, no.
And now on center stage, Jasmine.
Come on.
There's Handy J and his.
Yes, Handy J has to be the MC for that event.
Yeah.
He's another person I really, really wish had a show on Mojo. He's absolutely fantastic.
I love Handy J.
Handy J knows I love him too.
Yeah, I would handle the board work for him any day.
Oh, you want to
Hello.
handle
Mostly just handling Handy J.
Handling his board. All righty then.
There you go. Well,
Well,
now we know that Chris is willing to do anything to please anybody.
he's willing to go the extra mile.
Extra credit.
And stuff.
And
Teacher's
stuff.
pet. Hey, Chris, you got something on your nose.
Something on your chin too. You may want to wipe that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get it on your chin, you really went hardcore.
Hey, is that hair gel?
No, there's no hair.
Actually, it's not. It's never mind. We'll just move right along. All right. So, and before we get too far down the track, some more. Gosh, Rusty, how's your anxiety these days?
Look at him.
I'm working on it.
Have you noticed I'm a little more chill?
Well, you're not wearing
is
a big
that
black hat and glasses.
is that KB CBD you've been taking?
KBMD.
There you go. I was going to say the LMNOP.
It's, that would be KB, as in Kenneth Brown, MD, medical doctor.
He's a butt doctor.
The oil.
He's a butt man.
He's an ass man.
He's a gastroenterologist.
Well, when you put it that way.
He's an ass doctor. And let me tell you, the KBMD CBD oils, I'm feeling it, dude. I'm sleeping great. I seem to be a little less neurotic and less anxious and stuff.
Less spastic.
Woo! Anyway. So anyway, it's physician recommended because it's been used real patients with real success. Get over to mojo50/shop /shop that is, and go down there to your KBMD CBD oils. This is the tongue twister.
Easy for you to say.
Not really. Not at all, as a matter of fact. And check out your CBD oils. 900 milligrams of CBD, and it's wholesome extract and non-synthetic and
all that good jazzes.
Yeah, it's stuff. And as a matter of fact, such a great deal that if you use promo code whiskey, it's promo code whiskey, get $15 off your order. Go over and check that out. Mojo50/shop. Click on it. KBMD CBD oils for all your needs. Okay, so Rusty, were you finished with the news, or are we doing something different, or what?
I got a couple of dad jokes here.
You wait. Are you a dad? Are you
authorized? I appreciate dad jokes. Please proceed,
yes.
sir.
Why did the cross-eyed teacher lose her job?
Crickets?
Okay, go ahead.
She couldn't control her pupils.
Oh
my. What do you tell a single person on Valentine's Day? Happy Independence Day.
Oh my gosh.
Dun 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 dun. Dad jokes.
Yeah. I dreamt last night. I dreamt that I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted.
Dun 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 dun. Dad jokes.
I actually heard that from an 11-year-old girl today at my son's swim party, and she was full of them. I'm thinking she's going to end up someday. Just saying.
It would probably be really good to sit down and have a beer with her dad then.
No, actually, Grandpa didn't even show up to pick her up. That's who dropped her off and couldn't get a hold of him.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It was odd. Very odd.
Very odd. Not the word I use, but okay.
The listeners have worked really hard on some questions.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, we have... Yeah, they have. Okay.
5 of them. 5 listeners.
Just 5.
I counted them last week.
A couple of listeners.
A couple.
1
or 12.
Listeners. There may be a little bit more than 5.
6. There's 6.
Thereabouts.
Let's see. That works.
All
no.
Right. Do we want to get started with the questions then?
Let's do questions.
Let's do questions. All right. This one's going to be a lot of fun because, well, it's going to be a lot of fun. So this question came from Big Sarge on MeWe.
I am deathly afraid right now.
Actually, this one's a really Big Sarge. This one's a good question. Big Sarge is a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, he is awesome. Yes. Go check out his show. He's every night, 6 p.m. Eastern?
6 p.m. right after Jeremy Hansen, Mondays through Fridays.
Yeah, he's sandwiched between Jeremy Hansen and Dominic Izzo. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Mojo 50.
Correct.
Wow, a Hansen-Izzo sandwich. That's
dangerous. Let me tell you that.
And Big Sarge is a pretty big guy, so he fits right in there.
Yeah, big is.
Ding, ding, ding! It fits right in there.
Oh, Bell.
When Rocki does this, I don't want to know when she says, "Yeah, what does that mean, Rocki?" When you're giving visuals.
I'm always giving visuals. Stop it. You just can't see. You just can't see.
Right.
You didn't hear. You didn't. Yes, I don't want to get derailed.
To
Let's
be
get to
exposed to
this
those
question.
You didn't know it was your turn to get derailed. Anyway.
Can we stay on track for 5 minutes?
Thank you, Rusty.
What is the name of the show?
Huh?
Yes, you
Yeah, we got to fix the sound level on that, Chris. Jeez.
It sounds like a real train wreck, like a real train wreck.
All right, so back to the Big Sarge question.
Yes. So his question is, what got you to want to do your own radio show?
Oh, okay. So this actually goes back further than when I actually started. I think it started back when I started listening to Bob and Tom. If anyone knows who Bob and Tom are, they are nationally syndicated radio. I wouldn't call them a talk show, but they are a morning show, and they have guests on who are mainly comedians, like all the time, and they advertise and all that for them. And so the fact that that was all fun and hilarious, and I really enjoyed that. It got me through a lot of my days, in some hard times, as a matter of fact, tough times. Excuse me. There. Anyway, so it started out with that, and then I ended up transferring over to. I was looking for something a little more intellectual. Mm-hmm. So found that guy at the other place. Everyone knows him as Glenn Beck. Anyway, and I listened to him, and of course, I had actually heard of Doc before I started listening to Glenn, but it was just sporadic, because I was over the road and I'd catch him here or catch him there when I'm passing through and whatever. And but I have always been interested in radio and like voiceover work, and never gotten to do it. And then so Mojo 50 starts up, and one of the listeners, y'all might know her as Jamie Christopher, who writes a nice blog, Ain't You a Peach? I don't know what got over her, but she told me I should try. I think she said start a podcast, or something along those lines. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all that. And she kept bugging me a little bit, so I did. And here we are.
Rest, they say,
that was since January, that last part of 2019. So all within, then a month later, we were on Mojo.
Ta-da!
Yay!
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? Why are you on radio?
Because Whiskey needs somebody to run the board.
It's true.
Oh, do I need it? Trust me.
They need a tech guy, and Chris was like, "I'll do it. I'll do it."
Yeah, I was interested in it before I got involved with the Off Track crew, though.
You actually do have a show, by the way.
Yeah, I was running Liberty Tree, and I still do that occasionally. I'd like to say it's a weekly show, but it's not, because I'm busy.
It's as time allows.
Yeah, as time allows. Yeah, I was prepping one this afternoon. It's a lot of fun. I'm very politically minded. Listening to Doc's show inspired me, and I thought, I can do this. And Doc, towards the end, he said, more voices only makes things better. Mm-hmm. And he was encouraging people to give it a shot. If this is something you've ever thought you were interested in, if you can fog a mirror, which I can, by the way, I tested it.
I'm still breathing. Yeah. Absolutely.
I can fog a mirror. I'm good at it. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and it's really fun. And I find that the more I get into it, the stuff that I really enjoy, or the part that I really enjoy, is the creative thought process and inventing goofy commercials, and running the board,
too.
and doing the tech stuff, and figuring out how to make the video show up in 3 different places. This is
the only one here well, him and Rusty have got it all figured out, thankfully.
This is the part that I really enjoy. We got voices like Whiskey. They're really good at running a show. They're really good at just keeping it going and having stuff to say. Dylan,
what else?
Rusty, Steven, we got voices everywhere that they're really great at filling the sound. I found that part difficult when I do my show. I fill my show with a bunch of sound bites and comment on them in between them. And I don't know. I think I've probably gone on long enough.
What about you, Rusty? Why are you here?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm just here. That's.
Okay, Rusty, do you like what you do here?
What part is your favorite part about doing radio stuff, man?
Yeah, I like doing it, though. My memory of how we got into this goes back a little bit further and is a little bit different from Whiskey's. I think I was just as much of a person pushing Whiskey to to start this stuff and to get it started and look up what we got to do to get it going and kind of shaking him and pushing him and
No, you did by all means. Jamie was the one who initially put it in my head. So, by all means, and once it was started, oh yeah, you were pushing real good. Sorry, Salt.
Well then.
You did. Rusty was very instrumental in all this. As a matter of fact, like he said, all the tech stuff.
I don't look. Hold on. I don't know how comfortable I feel about you talking about him being instrumental after you just sang "Push It."
Well, it's not an instrumental, I suppose.
Just saying.
There's a lot going on here. I gotta say though, also, Handy J is gonna love that background behind Rusty right now.
Oh, it's psychedelic, man.
It hurts. It's giving me a headache. Jesus.
I'm sorry, Rusty. What were you saying?
All right. How about that one? Is that one better?
Tolerable.
Moderately.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just like being here. So
What's your favorite part about it?
I try to do what I can. Just being here.
Okay, just fogging mirrors with us.
So is your favorite part kind of the community of it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I like being here. I like doing it. I like, laughing.
He likes to have the mic in his
doing
face.
it.
We like having you, seriously.
Yes, we do. I do.
You complete the package, Rusty.
It's true. Stick that thing in your mouth.
Whoa.
Hello.
Thank God there's videos nowadays that people other get confused.
This escalated really quickly.
As it usually does. And of course, Dylan, our other guest tonight.
Mine is a little bit longer than that.
All right, so give us the abbreviated, give us
bragging.
the abridged version.
As you change the background again. No, I've had two dreams in my life as far as jobs goes. One of them was the military and the other one was radio. There's a local radio station here in North Carolina called G105. The morning show there was Bob and the Showgram, and it was hilarious. It was one of the biggest things floating around. And at that time, I didn't know of talk radio. I just knew of radio. You get in and you hopefully land a show in the morning where you can do basically what we're doing now. And, that's how that worked. And so but I'd always wanted to do it. I'd always wanted to do it. Matter of fact, when I got out of the military, I was decided that, I'm going to try and figure out how I need to do this. I was looking into schools for communication degrees. I was trying to figure everything out. And then I started talking to some people who had gone through that spiel of, getting the degree and going to these classes and doing all this stuff and interning and all that crap. And these guys were making barely minimum wage and working, 60 hours a week. And they weren't anywhere near being able to get where I was wanting to go, which was a show.
Where you are
exactly. Now. And so I had just kind of gave up on it and just said, well, it's not in the cards. It's not how that's going to work. And then,
but they were making minimum wage, right?
Yeah, well, I was making way more than minimum wage. That's the funny part. So it was, but I didn't think about it. Nobody ever thought of it. And similar to whiskey, I had heard GB on the radio, and I will never forget there was there was one point he actually had made the comment of, he said, quote, with the internet, there are no gatekeepers. Nope. And it was at that moment, I never really realized the potentiality of the internet. I really didn't.
Right.
And even after he said that, I still didn't know. But it opened my eye. I'm like, there's a way. Slowly started checking them. Years went by. And I became friends. I friended on Facebook Jonathan Dunn, who, if anybody who knows Glenn Beck knows of Jonathan Dunn, the Irishman over there. And I talked to him, and I'm like, I'm not trying to, and eventually I got to a point, I'm like, I'm not trying to use you in any stretch of the imagination other than this is what I want to do. Do you have any suggestions as to kind of what to do? And the next thing I know, he's got me in with a guy Chris Pillier, who basically gave me the platform. It was on Lanterns Media Network. It was given a show there. I had started with another guy. It lasted all of 2 or 3 months. And him and I split, and Steven came on. And thank you. Steven and I split up, or him and the other guy, me and the other guy split up. Steven came on, and it's been me and Steven ever since. And it's been realizing literally how easy this has been and staring at me in the face the whole time. I've talked to actually a couple people since then we started. And they're like, well, I've always wanted to do radio. I've always wanted, I just don't know how. Or I'm like, do you have a microphone? Do you have a phone? Can you record sound?
Just do it.
Effing simple. It
Really is.
There are platforms that will let you do free up to, sometimes 30 minutes. And if that's what you got to do to start building your people, then by God, you do it. It is so easy. And ever since then, I'm at a point now in my life where everything, and I don't mean like family per se, but like work and anything that I go moving forward is now centered around the building of this, because it is this simple. It is this easy. And, you really can push the dreams thanks to the internet if you try. And this, what I believe I'm doing as a whole, is literally what's left of the American dream. You have a goal, you pursue it. There is always an option. There's always a way to get it done. You just have to find out how to get there. And so, ta-da.
Are you going to answer this question for
Yes, you have to answer the question, Rocki. Why are you doing this?
I have to. Oh, why do I do?
Dylan, I'm inspired. You gave me goosebumps. All right, Rocki,
that's a load of crap, and you know it. But thank you. You're sweet.
Well, as you all know, I'm part of an ensemble show, much like Off Track. The idea was born from having listened to, well, at that point we were listening to Buck Sexton on the weekends. We were all listeners and following the same concept that Doc had, where he had his own hashtag, and those people who listened would comment on what was being said on radio using the hashtag. I got to know this fantastic group of ladies. We still stay in touch. And one night we all decide, well, we always talk to each other on Twitter. Why don't we just start a Google Hangouts call, and let's all just see who we are, and let's continue the conversations that we have on Twitter. Let's continue them on this Google Hangout. We did it a couple of times. It was a great time. And in the topics of conversation, it would always revolve around politics and pop culture and our own personal lives and how local politics affects our daily lives. And we don't realize it because it's daily life. You don't pay much attention to it. You move on because there's stuff that you need to do and there's places that you need to be. So in that process, Jaina and Sammy, and at that time Courtney, who was the person that I came to replace later in the podcast when it was born as a podcast, they decided to get together and start recording these, I think probably 50-minute episodes, podcasts. They were all independently released. And one time, well, Courtney had to be more active in her family, so they asked me to step in. But I had always been interested in talking about politics, because anybody who has heard our shows and has heard me on Off Track, they know that I'm from Puerto Rico. So the politics in Puerto Rico is very different from the politics in the United States. And to me, it makes more sense the way that it works here than it did back home. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to talk about it, to, number one, make sure that I had it right. And secondly, to see if there were other people who thought like me, and what else could I learn from everybody else. So I had done some back in Puerto Rico, actually, because of the fact that I speak both English and Spanish. Yes, in case you couldn't tell. I was actually asked at one of the last employers, or the last employer that I was at in Puerto Rico, I was actually asked to record the messages for the main phone number. So you know how when you call a number for a company, thank you for calling so and so. If
Press
you
2
need
for,
to,
yeah.
yes. Well, I did that for a company in both English and Spanish. So I had done some voice work, and actually a lot of people told me that I should have gone on to radio to do voice work, because in the fact that I was fluent in both English and Spanish, and apparently my voice sounded pleasant enough that people wanted to hear it. I never really pursued it, and I wish that I could have. There are many things that I wish I could have done in a previous life, but I didn't. But here I am.
Yeah, I know that.
We've also seen you. You could be one of the weather girls for the.
I don't know about that, but
Mojo Weather Girl.
Maybe soon. Maybe. You know, depending on whether I would be hired.
Weather every minute on the
every minute on the whatever you need.
Blah blah on the 7s.
There you go. Whatever it is. So yeah, you know, it's doing radio is a lot of fun. I like the research aspect of it, especially when you're dealing with news. The way that we do on our show, we try to kind of stay away from the news that everybody has covered, just because you don't want to hear the same thing over and over again.
We do that
but you know, I do love the research aspect. I do love the fact that you can go online and read from different sources, and you can form your own opinion, as it should. Form your own opinion based on multiple sources. Don't just read from one place. And that's something that the magic of radio brings to you. The fact that you can do these things independently, and if other people don't have the opportunity to, you can do it for them, and you can help them out. And I guess that's the reason how I ended up on radio. That's a very long-winded explanation.
When you came in. I remember when you came on to the bells. I remember that because y'all were. I do, because
you were on the lanterns too, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
You were, yeah. This what's funny is there's several of them that come over from that, and I real fast. I want to make it a kind of an addendum to my thing. Is I've never been a fan of politics. I think politics are irritating. I hate politics.
Very irritating.
However, and this is, and the only reason I bring this up is because Rocki had mentioned how they do their show, and it is a very different way of doing it. Steven and I try to do ours as differently as well. We come at it from the angle of there are so many people, and God bless you if you're one of those folks. Not trying to speak ill of it at all, but one of the things that we like to do is try to stay away from people, which is one of the reasons why our show is not as popular as we would like it to be, because we don't sit here and say how great, Donald Trump is, unless he does something good, and how bad he is, and blah, 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 blah. It's just one of those, we try to stick to principle, and that's something that, had meant a lot to me, and now I have the avenue. So with the music going, it's time to go.
And on that note, folks, don't go anywhere. Go fill your glass and do your deed. We'll be right back. We're off track. Just when you get into the groove of things, the music shuts down and you hear that whistle blow. Before we get too far, I'm starting a bad habit of saying that, aren't I? Damn it. Before we get too far. Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to say this kind of to maybe close out that last question that we had. We're all talking about the beginnings of our radio careers. Not that any of us have been in it for a great deal of years, but some of us longer than others. That my whole life I've enjoyed talking to people, dealing with people. Like, I wouldn't say necessarily a customer service type atmosphere, but like at work. Okay. I enjoy dealing with clients, trying to see what their needs are and, help them to accomplish their goals. I really enjoy just dealing with people. Okay. So I guess this is my way, the radio of, like, for instance, okay, so I have this other show. It's called Life in Progress. And I know many of you have listened to it, heard of it, whatever. That's probably more, I probably sometimes enjoy that show more than I do Off Track. Off Track, we goof around. No, don't get me wrong. I love what we do here. But in my heart of hearts, the things we talk about, because they probably affect me and my family and, so on and so forth. It's just the daily problems that people do within their lives. I like to talk about them. And maybe if what we're talking about on the radio maybe touches someone, and gives them a perspective from someone else's point of view and helps them get through their day, that makes me so, so happy inside.
Yep.
And that's why I do this, I guess. Yep. That's the deep down answer of why I enjoy doing this.
I would have to say that's probably the same as mine. Is in the end, like I
like that song. In the end.
In the end, and so does
Park.
There's a joke there, but we're gonna leave that one.
Yeah, we got it.
Anyway, no, that's the same thing. I could never. I could never be like a preacher. That's not my forte. That's not my thing. But at the same time, I started realizing that there's a lot of things that go on around us. The idea of a preacher, we all think some dude standing behind a pulpit and Jesus said you need to love your neighbor. That's what we think of.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Please pass the offering plate. Yeah, you have to. It's that
you have to enunciate.
Are you trying to be a Hillary Clinton style preacher now? Or?
No, I didn't cough. That's the difference. I wasn't coughing. But in a goofy kind of a way, and you have to bear with me for this analogy for a minute, but those of us as all of us as hosts, we kind of are preachers. But we're preaching
our own aspect. I see that.
We're taking, and all of us in some instances a very different angle. But we're kind of trying to reorient people back to what the country was, which was everybody has a different opinion. Right. But there's the core values, the core standards stay the same. And if we don't get back to the core standards and the core values, then everything's going to be all cattywampus. And so in a way, we're all preachers, and this is the closest to being a pastor I'm ever going to do, because I will get on some tangents, as everybody on MeWe the other day apparently was trying to do. Chris, get everything started.
Screw them.
Screw them. You started it. The trying to trigger Dylan thread that was going. He was just like instigating and like laughing the whole way. I didn't see it, but I could hear him as he's typing going, #trigger Dylan. And then it was benefits for everyone and free Medicaid. Go. And I'm like, you son of a biscuit.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the trigger Dylan. The trigger Dylan.
Oh, I had so much fun with that. Do we have a trigger Dylan question?
Because there is one question that came from, well, there are many questions that came from this person, EJ Miller on Twitter. He's Mojo Riverfish. Yeah. Absolutely loved his little videos. Made me laugh so many times. I replayed them a couple of times because they were so funny. He's fantastic. Kudos to him. A big hug and a big kiss for him. But anyway. Smooches. So, he asked a couple of questions, but I'm going to start with, what is the most embarrassing thing you've done on a bet?
Oh,
bet?
On a bet?
On a
Oh,
bet.
I got nothing. I don't
Or
bet.
if you don't bet, then
I don't
what about
bet.
the most embarrassing thing that you've done
Like on a
or
dare?
have done to
On a
you
dare.
or you know of or on a
I'm gonna
dare
save
or a
mine
bet
for
or
last.
anything?
Go ahead, folks. No?
I can't.
Most
Mine's gonna have to
embarrassing
be
thing
last,
I've ever
'cause
done on a dare.
I know for a fact that I win. So y'all go first.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like I know for a fact.
Most embarrassing thing that I've ever done on a dare, I wore a dress and high heels to a nightclub.
That's nothing. I got pictures of that of me on the internet. Try again.
It's true. I've seen the
Wow.
yoga pants.
Yeah, no, it's on my Facebook. You can Chris see it.
Oh my God. I don't. I can't really.
This is
I
what-
don't have anything.
No, you won't. Don't
You
want.
don't have anything embarrassing?
No, he does. He doesn't want to admit to it.
Rusty,
No,
I think you sound like you're embarrassed by a lot of things. In a fun way, not in a mean way. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing that I can think of.
Breathe it on the mic and answer the
Sorry,
daggone
I'm
question.
You think about it.
I blacked out one time, and I guess a couple of people, beat me up.
Wait. They beat you up? Usually,
Yeah.
right
That's
on
not
your-
embarrassing. That's
Hold on. Does anybody smell that? Does anybody smell that?
That's mean.
That smell crap.
No,
All right, maybe Whiskey or Dylan
right.
should go first and let Rusty
win.
think for a minute.
I ain't got nothing.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go first because I know. I'm telling you, I know I win.
That's cool. I'll let you win. I back in 1994. 94. I had just gotten back from overseas on a deployment, in which I met this young lady who.
No, I'm just thinking. Suddenly, I just realized mine is a deployment story.
I have. Look, the deployment ones. The records are sealed.
I know. That's
I cannot confirm nor deny what happened on deployment, even though I was single on the first.
no.
deployment.
Mine too. Yeah, no. Go
Yeah.
ahead. No. Yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
I anyway. So I got back and I started dating this young lady. We ended up in my Jeep and down by the beach. Behind there's a big pile of sand.
That's usually what's at the beach.
So it looked literally the pile of sand came down almost to the edge of the water. Like so, I'm looking for a place to hide so we can go.
like a sand
Every
dune,
time
you
I've ever
mean?
seen water, there was sand almost right up to the edge. Keep
No.
going.
Oh dear God! Really? Up to the edge?
No, like a big pile. Like you couldn't see. It was a big giant.
Yeah, I think
pile.
Rocki nailed it.
At
It's
a
called
dune? It's called a sand dune.
It's called a dune.
No, it was piled there by like a tractor.
It's still called a dune.
No, it's not.
He drove his Jeep into the
It
ocean.
was not,
Okay.
and I did. I drove my Jeep down into the water on the other side of this big pile of sand.
Pile of sand.
One pile of sand in the whole beach.
Dune.
Regardless, that's not the point. Gosh, you guys are derailing me here.
That's the point.
So anyway, we parked, as in the term we parked, and things started happening. And all of a sudden, I see like it was almost like the sun started to come up, but it wasn't like morning. Oh no, I realized those are headlights, spotlights.
Oh.
Military police.
Oh,
I didn't even know we were on base. I did not know we were on base property because the base is right across the road. But anyway,
peas.
so all of a sudden we are scrambling. And now, mind you, I don't think she listens to this, but if she does, I'm not naming her name.
I'm sorry. Apologize now, just to
No.
be safe.
I grabbed my.
And we're going to call her Jenny because her name was Jenny.
No, actually, we're going to call her Heather because her name was. Oh, Heather. Anyway, I grabbed my shorts, or I think it was her pants. I don't remember. Whatever. And I just pulled fast. I'm in the Jeep still, mind you.
Well,
I'm sure you pulled fast.
Of course I'm buttoning and whatever, and she's throwing her top on, and Okay, and so he and he comes out and he, get it. Come on, guys, get out of the vehicle. Okay, and now we're both military. I'm active duty.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm active duty. She was in the reserves.
Oh no!
Yes. and so asked me for my ID, blah blah blah. Okay, and she didn't have hers. She had no idea. Her ID, it was in her vehicle, which we had left at the other place
on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah, just about, just down the right. So as we're standing there, he goes back to his car. Well, she told him her social security number, and that's all I really needed.
Yeah, we're privy to social. Continue.
Right. So, and okay. So while he's back at his car, I just kind of look over at her. I busted up laughing because her shirt is on inside out and backwards.
Whoops.
So she's wearing, it's like a polo type shirt and it's all up around her chin, and
Nothing's going on. Nothing's going on.
And
I don't know what you're talking about.
The security forces guy, he's got this shit-eating grin on his face because he knows what we're doing, and he's
no
trying to
lying.
be professional. And no, we weren't trying to hide anything. We, okay, we're caught.
But you can't now.
No.
She clearly is body.
Right. So and then right, I was wearing shorts because this is how I remember it. Because I looked down at myself. I already had a shirt on. I didn't take that off. I looked down, and out the bottom of my shorts was my underwear because I just grabbed my shorts and yanked them up. I didn't get the underwear.
Well,
They didn't come up where they're supposed to. So it wasn't good. So I ended up marrying her. That was my first wife.
wow.
That was my first wife.
That part may have it trumped then. Because of that, you may have me trumped. No,
That escalated right there, right at the end.
damn sure did.
And then there was that bomb.
Oh, by the way, she's number one.
You're up.
Okay. And I'm not going into near the details that Whiskey is going into. All I'm going to say,
Damn it, I overdid it.
is there is a
That
No,
was the point of the question.
No.
There it is. There's radio.
so
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Was that Hurlburt Field, by the way?
Allegedly, I was also deployed. I wasn't deployed. I was active in the fleet. I was in the Navy. I was stationed in Natsuki, Japan, and there may or may not have been a situation where Dylan may or may not have been in a local Japanese bar.
Are you Bob Dole talking third?
May or may not have.
person?
No, I'm just telling. The story is that
I
allegedly.
feel like there's
may
going to
or
be
may
an
not.
inflagrante delicto here.
Yes, close. There may or may not have been a situation where I may or may not have gotten so completely hammered that on a dare that I was stripped naked, painted blue, and ran up and down the hallways of a Japanese hotel screaming and dancing to Michael Jackson's Beat It.
Hold on.
Wow.
Wait, so you were a Smurf beating it?
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, I think that's a lot more embarrassing.
That's priceless, and you win. Next question, please.
I would definitely go back to the beach in a heartbeat to get caught before blue for one, and running up and down a hallway naked.
The
in Japan.
Japanese folks were.
Oh, I'm sure they were highly impressed.
They were, yeah.
Unamused, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were not a fan.
So I have a question here from our good dear friend Megan Price. She asked through Facebook, and I'm going to direct this question to Rusty because Rusty has been quiet.
He has been a little bit silent.
And this is a very interesting
By the way-
question.
by
So
the way-
yes.
Rusty hates this. Yeah, that's why he's being quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to ask him a question because this is going to be very interesting. I'd love to hear his answer. Okay. If you lived in a colder climate, would you still be naked all the time?
That's an easy one for him to answer. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was an easy answer. Okay.
I am currently not wearing any pants. I'm just saying.
Do not prove that, please.
Please don't. Please
By
don't.
all means, do not stand up.
For the sake of our friendship, please don't do that.
Look, I'm not looking forward to 30 seconds of my life. I'll never get back.
No.
I was trying to see if I could get Rusty derailed, but
No,
again, it's like,
I
you know
think
what?
For
that-
everybody's
easy.
benefit, nobody's got pants on.
Nobody's got pants on.
I don't.
Nobody. There you go.
Woo!
I can't.
But,
Nope.
I got
Can't.
pasty white legs. It's obvious.
I do remember an embarrassing moment.
Oh, good. Let us know.
Then share, please share.
All right, so these people, neighbors, I guess, we had just moved into a. I have not been rich, so I have lived in some slums. So we had just moved into this trailer park, and this trailer park. And does anybody know about trailer park furniture? Do you know about the old wooden?
The wood with the cushions that sat into it with the
cushion?
wire.
Okay, yes.
I know very
Okay,
well.
do you remember the coffee table?
Yes,
that
had the cushion and the little table in the middle. Yes.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So we're
And every
there's
one of them, hold on, and every single one of them had the exact same pattern and
Was
picture,
it green?
just a different color.
Green cushion?
No, that's what I was gonna say. It's a different color. I've had blue and I've had brown, and there is green. There's a
Yes.
different color, but the same picture. Go ahead. Sorry,
mine was brown. Yeah.
I had brown.
So we
All
had
of that junk.
people, kind of came over to give us a little housewarming kind of, thing, get together, drink beer and all that, and didn't know these people really from Adam. We had a toddler, Ashley. She was, 2, I think. So we're all in the living room sitting there, and we're just, kind of chit-chatting. And Ashley comes over to the coffee table and grabs the one cushion that's right in front of me and yanks it off. And underneath that cushion is a Hustler magazine.
Oh.
Oh no, 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 no.
In front of all the people in the trailer
All your
park.
guests.
That's when you turn
Oh,
around and go, "I'll be damned! I knew better than to get this furniture from that church
Yeah.
lot,
Church parking lot.
church park." Oh, this is what happens
Of
when
course
you
you-
go to a church yard sale.
Yeah, so everybody was just dying laughing.
Wait, there was
as
a bunch of people there, you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, whole living room full of people. Yeah. So
And you knew it was there.
I had actually forgot that it was there, but yeah. So anyway, yeah,
Nice. Okay.
pretty embarrassing.
Yeah,
Pretty embarrassing.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, Rocky, what's up?
Huh?
Yeah. What do you
What's
got,
up?
Rocky? Embarrassing? Come on.
Oh, geez. I'm supposed to answer too?
Uh,
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well,
By the way, everyone, Rocky here. If you don't know, Rocky is from the shows
The shows?
The shows, yes. The
There's more
show
than one
Bells of Liberty, which herself and Jaina and Sammy have a show on Mojo 50, and that is what, 2 p.m. Eastern,
2 p.m. Eastern,
Saturdays.
Saturdays,
Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m.
2
Eastern.
to 4. Yep.
And let me tell you, the three of them are all about the so many words, but it's all good so
Yes.
many words.
But they're good words. Like,
Yes, they are good. No, they get their point across.
No.
Pop culture, politics, day-to-day life stories, trying to figure out who put the password in the morning and screwed things up.
That's a great
I
time.
didn't forget that one.
They do
Great
way more
show.
research for their one show than Steven and I do for the entire week.
Wait, research? What's that?
Right? That's what I said.
I
Who is
Research
this
is when
Steven
you-
guy?
Research is when you look in your pockets again to see if you can find the keys that you
That's my
misplaced.
research. Show prep. Excuse me. It's my show prep. Right there. It's a
Mulligan.
couple drinks of whiskey.
Mulligan indeed.
All right. So sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead there.
So I guess it wasn't embarrassing for me, but it was embarrassing for the person involved.
Uh-oh.
So this was I was living in New York, and I was working doing accounts receivable for this company that I worked for, and there was a gentleman there who, for the 2.5 years that I worked for that company, he never said a word to me. He would just walk past me in the hall, would never even acknowledge my presence. And he one day heard me speak Spanish to my mom, because sometimes she would call me in the middle of the workday. So he heard me speak Spanish. And one morning he approaches me and he says, "I have a question to ask you." And I'm like, "Oh, this is the first time this guy's ever talking to me, so I don't know where this is going." Okay. So I was like, "Yeah, sure. What do you need?" He's like, "You speak Spanish, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. My maiden name was Spanish, so I can assume that yes, I do speak it." He's like, "I was driving to work, and in front of me was this pickup truck, and the bumper sticker said something about Juan's huevos." And I'm like,
oh no.
and I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "What does that mean?" And I'm like,
did you lie to him?
Donuts. They were talking about donuts. It was a donut sales company.
well, much like the reaction that you're seeing right now, I'm just going like, well, which answer do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the literal, or do you want to hear the translation? He's like, "Well, is it bad?" And I'm like, "Well, how about I'm going to tell you both, and you
It's
decide."
not good.
And I explained to him, traditionally in Spanish, huevos means eggs, like chicken eggs,
Right.
fowl eggs, as you would think. And then there's the huevos corresponding to
The giblets.
and
Genitals.
genitals. So
Male
the giblets, yes, the bits.
The giblets.
The bits.
The beans. The beans and the franks. The franks and
So,
the beans.
Twig and berries.
Twigs and the berries.
Yeah, the berries.
Berries.
yes. Well, just the berries, not
Just
the twigs.
Balls, folks.
Balls.
Balls.
We're talking about balls, people.
This conversation is nuts in itself, just saying.
You couldn't tell. That's what we were talking about.
Ba-dum-tsh.
So this poor guy turns beet red, and he starts laughing. And
Wow.
I'm like, "You asked. You didn't know. If you ever have any questions about Spanish, you could just ask me, and I'll be happy to answer." And I felt bad for the guy, but I thought it was probably like the most humorous thing that ever happened to me, because this happened. He asked the question in front of my supervisor.
Whoops.
And yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I felt, like I said, I felt bad for the guy. I don't think he realized what his question was.
I feel like you cheated.
Hmm?
But I feel like you cheated on the question here. The
Yeah.
question was, what was embarrassing for you?
That's not embarrassing for
Come
you.
on, embarrassing
And
moment.
then you used your
You know-
feminine wiles and turned this around and
No, well, because it wasn't embarrassing. It wasn't embarrassing for me necessarily. I felt embarrassed for him. The fact that he had to ask that question, and
no.
It's something like you're in public and a boob flops out. Come on.
That's okay, though. I think so, at least.
that has never happened.
It's going by faster than we ever anticipated as normal, folks. Stick around. Come back to get derailed. Off track. Wow. We got one more segment, folks. This is how we get derailed right here. And it's unfortunate Mississippi could not join us this evening, but we have
She had stuff to do. Stuff.
I
She's
believe
gonna
we will
lie.
have spare questions that you, me, and Rusty can ask her next week.
Something.
There are some leftover questions, so I'll make sure that I'll save them
Oh, we'll
for
get the Mississippi leftovers.
future use. Yes.
There it
Sure.
Sounds-
is.
Sounds interesting.
Yes.
Sounds crunchy.
Whoa.
I got
Crunchy.
one real fast, and this is only for Rocki because I wanted to ask this.
Oh boy.
No, it's not. It's not
What
bad.
shoe size?
It's
Oh,
10.
no. So in my life, oddly enough, and I don't know why, it's just literally the luck of the draw. Most of the Latino folks that end up in my life are from Puerto Rico. Matter of fact, my best friend / my brother is in Vegas currently, is Puerto Rican. I have literally spent most of my life around him where he would be talking to his mama on the phone in Spanish, mid-sentence, mid-word, break off in English for about 10 minutes, and then again, mid-sentence, mid-word, break back into Spanish. Is that normal
yes.
Yes,
for
it's
Puerto Rican?
Yes, and it's called code switching.
Okay.
So there is a word for it. It's
Gotcha.
called code switching. I do it now. I have a lifelong friend. She was the very first friend that I made fresh out of high school and into college. Her name is Suli. Shout out Suli. She and I, when we talk on the phone, it is literally that's how we talk to each other.
Okay.
We'll start a conversation in English. We'll break into Spanish because
It confuses people.
it's having two languages in your head can sometimes be very difficult because you're thinking of something and there are going to be words and phrases and experiences that you've had in Spanish, and you can only communicate them in Spanish.
Gotcha.
But the rest of the conversation can go in English because that's just the way that it
Gotcha. Okay.
There are words that don't exist in other languages.
But instead of
Exactly.
taking that extra, like what would end up being
Yes.
a pause and try to figure out, okay, how do I say this in Spanish?
exactly.
How do
We
I say
just
this in English?
switch to Spanish or switch
Switch it,
to
roll.
English and then go back to
Gotcha.
the language that we were already originally speaking in. So yes, it is an actual thing, and it is called code switching.
And I got to tell you, living out here in Arizona, and I hear Spanish constantly, and I think
Not in
nothing of it
Arizona.
until I hear two people having a conversation in English, like absolutely normal for me, and then it just switches randomly to Spanish, and all of a sudden I'm like, y'all talking about me?
Yeah.
That happens to me. It's funny because that happens to me in job number 2. Because job number 2, I could have a customer and I'm saying hi, how are you, talking to them, so on and so forth, and there's going to be a Hispanic customer right behind them. Usually it's the other way around. Like I'll have a Hispanic customer in front of me, I'm talking, chit-chatting, especially if they're one of my repeat customers, and then I'll immediately switch right back to English, and people are like, wait, what? And because they don't, they are always looking for the accent, and they're not realizing that I speak both English and Spanish fluently. That people who speak English who hear me speak Spanish think I'm going to have a Spanish accent, and people who are Spanish speakers think that I only speak English until I break out the Puerto Rican Spanish, and it's like, there it is.
That's funny, as I say, because they think you're going to say Spanish, like, bienvenidos todo, like that instead.
I could, but it would be really
I know that English accent because it makes me giggle.
The wife and I do this because you get to say you're standing in line or something, and there's two Spanish people, and they're just huh? Do what?
You and Judy speak Spanish?
No, we speak. No, listen, we speak fluent Pig Latin.
Oh, come on.
And we can have what I'm saying.
Yes, I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, you do, but Spanish people don't, and they turn around. And they turn around and look at us like we're talking. It's like, what the hell are they doing? And oh yeah. Yeah,
like,
we do it.
How we feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Gibberish.
Speak American.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
You either give another go, have the go. You know what? I've been drinking. This isn't working.
Stop it! I hate Pig Latin. My kids.
No, it's not Pig Latin.
No, my kids figured out what Pig Latin was and were trying to do it. And after a while, like they literally spent the entire day, including trying to talk to me in Pig Latin. I'm like, if you say another word in Pig Latin again, bring the house down on top of y'all.
So Pig Latin is completely different than gibberish, actually, but it's funny because, excuse me, and if you guys don't know what gibberish is, it's literally my name in with a gisk of the gee. That's how you say whiskey. And every word is very similar. You know, I the goff, tre the gack. M the go, j the go, for the guy, for the go. Right. But you guys are getting it. You know what I'm saying. You understand completely what I'm saying.
You have to practice it a little bit.
Right. Okay. So I'm sitting on the bus my freshman year of high school,
Bad whiskey,
listening to these two chicks in front of me. Sorry, Brad's replying to me on. Oh, never mind.
Brad, don't talk to me. Damn it.
No, he won't talk to me either.
Sorry.
What did you do?
Anyway. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about this later.
He's offering me a job. I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh.
Just whatever. I'm so full of shit. But anyway, they're sitting here on the bus talking back and forth to each other. And like this went on day after day after day after like weeks. And finally I answered them. I didn't speak gibberish, but I got to where I just knew what they were talking. I could understand them completely. And then they stopped sitting by me.
That's, you know what? That's actually funny. It is. That's how my best friend Alex in Puerto Rican. That's how I learned Spanish. Was I used to hang out with him. I was 15 years old. I was dual enrolled in a community college back home, and I was going to auto mechanics, and I met him. And I would go after school. I would hang out with him all day. And that's how I learned Spanish. Like it would be a point where I couldn't speak a lick of it, but by God, I knew what you were talking about. You know, and that's just how it went, man. He was. So anyway, sorry.
Our listeners really did a lot of work.
I know when we're throwing this off. I apologize.
Next question, please.
Yes.
Next question. This one is I'm going to ask this one only because this one came from Shellback Bo Smith, who we had on a couple of weeks back, right? Like 2 weeks ago, thereabouts.
No.
Okay. So his question is, how much money would it take for you to orally please to completion a person of your same gender?
I'm sorry. Do we know him?
Who is this again?
Hey, who is this guy?
That is
I don't know who.
Wait a minute. We
haven't
heard of this guy before?
Act like you don't know.
Who is this guy?
Oh my God! Oh, damn it!
Navy thing.
Bo.
It probably is a Navy thing. Do we have any Navy guys here?
Shut up!
No.
Why are you looking at me? Stop looking at me.
There's no.
Look, I'm gonna. Before any answers are said, everybody.
No, they do not have a price.
Bullshit.
I do not. There is no number. I do not care.
Okay.
Period.
And you know why you can say that? Do you know why you can say that? Because nobody actually has the number in front
No
of you.
one's not. No, and I don't care.
If somebody was able to drop 10 grand in your lap right now, you would not be saying no that fast. You might still say no. Hold on.
No.
10 million. I'll give somebody a blowjob. 10 million.
I was gonna say you still may say no, but you will not be saying it that fast. I'm sorry.
I will.
Every single human being has a price.
Nope.
It may be
$10 million. Get out of it. Get the hell out of here.
Period. Not happening.
$10 million in cash right now.
Nope.
It's going to take 5 minutes, and I'm never going to have to work again.
and look.
Maybe don't ask where this came from, but Daddy, we're going to Vegas.
I'm going to buy an island, and I'm not going to talk to any of you ever again because I don't want to hear about it.
Let me put it this way, and Rusty won't understand this. You know what? Okay, Chris.
Hold on, Rusty. You're gonna have to beep something.
What are we beeping?
He's just preemptively getting ready.
I blew it. I dropped one.
Let me put it this way.
Oh.
Okay, so Rocki, Chris, Dylan,
I missed it.
if you were, no one said anything. If you were able to get into a semi,
No, I dropped an F-bomb. He's going to have to...
oh, I didn't even hear.
I didn't hear it
I
either.
didn't either. I didn't hear it either. Anyway, I'll look for
We'll
it.
catch it on the replay.
Yeah. Anyway, so if one, okay, so Dylan, if there was a semi truck sitting outside right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you got in that truck and you drove around the block, are you a truck driver?
At that point,
No, I mean, are you considered, quote, a truck driver? Just because you drove a truck one time?
no.
No. You suck one dick, you're still gay.
No, hold on. No, that doesn't work that way. No, that doesn't. That's not how that works. Just like driving a truck one time doesn't make you a truck driver.
Oh my
No, it does work like that.
No,
It does.
you're not a truck driver unless you're licensed. Therefore, you're not gay unless you make that a habit.
I'm gonna refute it.
My point.
With $10 million,
That's a job. That doesn't count.
No, it was still the answer.
Katy Perry's going to come visit my island. I promise you. I'm not gay.
He doesn't have a penis. Just saying.
Oh my God! I
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No.
I can't give you a number. I don't know. I guess if I had $1 million in front of me, I'd probably think about it.
Nope.
That's the only thing I can tell you.
Don't care. See, no,
So,
And
10.
before,
You
and
shaking
before
your head.
10 million.
and
I need to
before
have
you
enough
ask,
money that I don't have to even think about working again.
so Rocky,
I'm shaking my head no, and that's a hard no.
see?
Tell me for that. It's a hard no.
And you guys are giving me crap
There's
about it.
there's
everybody
no
get
amount
straight?
of
Look,
no.
everybody has a price. Now, whether
No,
it's
they
a
don't.
realistic
No.
price or not, everybody
No,
has
they don't.
at some point.
Not everyone does.
There's
no,
no figure that
everybody
I would
does.
even
No,
consider.
they don't.
Doesn't matter how
Nope.
comfortably I could live with that money
No, but
afterwards.
that's what I'm trying to
All
say.
right, I think Shellback Bo probably got everything he wanted out of that question. We should.
Oh, I'm
move on.
sure he did.
Well, I just want to know if he's driven a truck lately. You know what? These are the
Oh,
kind
God.
of things
I
here
can't
that
look, I
you
can't-
isolate the audio and then you put it into a commercial spot.
Oh, I
Remember
know.
that,
It's
you
gonna
guys.
have to be this section.
We're
I can't
absolutely
look.
not isolating any of that audio.
Oh
Wait a
yeah.
minute, isolating audio? I don't know how to do that.
We have verbal and video proof that you guys will do that for money.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we do.
no.
See, look, you guys admitted to it already. Those records are not sealed anymore.
You go ahead and make that edit.
No, we're good.
I can't look. I can't dog it too bad. He is Navy, and I give him that much. He's fellow brother. I can't military at least, and then Navy too. I can't.
All right. Let's stay on track. Another question. Next question.
Yes.
Next question.
Another question. So we obviously know that the host of our show is Whiskey Six. I saw him take a swig of a drink right now. And so Kool-Aid with a C on Twitter asked earlier this week, how much do you guys drink? By you guys, I mean everybody here. How much do you drink before you start recording the show?
Oh wait, hold on. Before or during?
Before and during. Let's add during
okay.
because I've seen some people refresh their drinks. So
Chris is counting. Take your shoes off, Chris. You need some more toes, more digits to count. Go ahead, Rusty.
I don't keep track of how much I drink. I just keep making drinks. So
More than 3 for the whole show.
yeah, I'm usually four or five drinks in.
For over a 2-hour
He's
period.
a really great
Yeah.
wife. He brings them sandwiches and other drinks, and sometimes slaps them in the back of the head.
Yeah,
On the show.
yeah.
In the back of the head.
She has slapped me a
Proof
couple
of
of times.
Dylan, go ahead.
Well, see, in all fairness, I drink more during this show than I do even our Friday show.
There's a reason for that. Do you know us?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody's watched the show, this
That was
bar
full.
was full, and I'm about to have it done before the show is over with.
So-
But our show's longer than yours, too.
And it was.
Our show's twice the length of yours.
Yeah, I know. There's that too. Well,
Whoa, quit
right.
bragging. Quit
Yeah,
bragging.
really?
Mine's bigger than yours. Just saying.
Technically, mine's bigger because we go more days, but
Oh, well, that's true. That's true.
It's not about the size.
Big.
Look, it's not about the size of the ship. It's about the experience of the captain piloting it. Anyway,
There you go.
Is that how it goes?
is that
Well, yeah, the endurance.
Hey.
I mean,
So
Look,
what you're saying is it takes you all week to get that big. Mine's just big one night. It's all-
look for
all
those
good.
of us that only have personality? Yes, personality is all we have. This is it's
Wait.
you
I
have
don't.
to
I
lay
don't have
that
any
groundwork.
knowledge. I have to rely on a personality.
When you got it for 1 week, that big for 1
I don't
week.
have I don't have enough personality to go 5 days.
No,
7
this
days.
is not quite a half a
Look. This would be a great morning
Wow.
show. Let me tell you.
dude. I'm telling you.
Look, I'm not even playing. Can you imagine it? Your daily buzz.
Yes, I'm
we
trying
would
to
all get arrested on the way home.
look. Remember that
Go
show?
home. I got
The
a
show
dream
that
about
I was
that.
telling you
Remember?
about? The show I was telling you about that kind of in the very beginning inspired me was very similar to this.
Yes.
Very
Nice.
similar. Minus the alcohol because it was early in the morning. They couldn't.
It's
All
friends
right,
hanging
all
All right.
out.
Do we have more questions? We need more questions. Come on. Come on.
Rusty, this is all content. It's good, dude.
I know, but people
Carry
have.
it over to next week, brother.
Yes. So I have a
We'll carry the
question
questions
from.
over. I promise you, all you people out here that wrote questions, we will answer them.
Yes.
Maybe not today.
Why not
Yes,
today, but we
I'm
will.
highlighting the ones that have been asked. So this one comes from our dear friend Holly, Jack Hole Boneless Angry Beaver on Twitter. And
Walt is doing this.
this one is, if there is one thing you would change in your life, what would it be and why?
Okay, so I have to ask a question for a question here. Is this something that we could just like snap our fingers and change, or like magically, or is it something we can go back and redo, or I mean,
I guess the way that I interpreted the question is likely, if you could go back in time and fix something in your life, what would it be and why? Like if you had one do-over, I suppose. If you had one do-over, what would you what would it be and
You
why?
can't ask me that right now. Damn it!
I would work more on making money instead of looking so damn good.
You know what? I can see that. That's very honorable of you. God bless you, brother.
Rusty, you spent an awful lot of time looking so sexy.
you're so
I know. You know what? There's a reason I have not pounded this thing this as fast as I had. Is because as
Spent
sexy
a little
as
bit more time
it is.
making money than he could have, had the 10 million that I need.
No, is still the answer. The answer is still hard no. Okay. Anybody else?
I derailed the question.
That's
Yes.
all right.
So
Go ahead.
My one thought on something that I would have changed.
Yeah, you have to
There
answer.
was a girl that I was really, 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 really mean to back when I was about 12. I was trying to flirt with her. We were at a dance recital. It was classical ballet. Yes, I did classical ballet.
we're so gonna have to see that later.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk
That's
about that.
got to
Oh,
go
yes.
on.
There are pictures. There are pictures.
That is not sealed
Probably
either.
are. But
Anyway.
I'm not going to give you any of them.
Anyway, so you
were mean to her.
Probably out there. Anyway, I was trying to flirt with this girl, and you look really pretty in that costume would have been the great thing to say, but
Oh,
It's
geez.
not what you said.
no.
Not even close, huh?
I don't know.
You said I see your camel toe, didn't you?
Amazing.
Oh,
You look amazing all the time would have been a really great thing to say.
Oh,
What I was thinking,
did you say?
but I said, this costume kind of makes you look ugly.
That's messed up.
No, that was bad.
Very much bad.
That's not what I was thinking,
Yeah, evidently it was.
but it's what came out of my mouth. It was very bad, and I'd like to take that back because I've never been able to apologize.
You know her name?
I do. I've never been able to. I
think you have the
you
opportunity
technically
right now.
realize this is
That's
You may
insane.
not.
Wow, I was a jackass. I'm sorry.
Well, then say it right now. Like technically, this is a nationwide, a global show. Technically,
You'll never see it or hear it because we're nobodies, but you can
But
try.
you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Say it
Send
now.
it to her.
Her name's Hildy Rodant. I'm sorry. That was crappy of me, and I'm sorry.
That was
awesome,
good.
dude.
God bless you. You're I love
Have
you,
a
man.
drink
You're
on me.
awesome.
Dang it.
He
That
said,
was sweet.
I'm going to have to watch extra midget porn to get over that one.
God, no!
Leave it to Rusty.
And with that, we are completely derailed.
What was the question again?
The
You can
question,
change anything.
Now
yes,
I'm not
if you-
sorry that you
right.
feel that I can
Okay.
about
If I could change anything, I think it would be about myself, which would probably change a lot of other things in my life. And I don't know. It's not something I could do over. It's something I have to figure out how to fix within me. Part of that is anxiety. The things I struggle with in my life, if I could fix those,
Yeah.
Well, that's everybody, though.
yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not
Be a
talking
little bit more
about.
specific than that, though.
I'm not talking about something I did. It's just, look, if I were somehow didn't, I don't know. Like, seriously, there is a chain of events I'm learning about myself that just rule me occasionally, and it affects other people, and I just don't like the way it affects the other people. I can live with myself, but I don't like how it affects relationships. So yeah, there's that. That's all me. That'd be the biggest thing for me. It's about people and relationships. It's not about making money. Look, take this stuff from me. I don't care. I want to be.
I think that deals with a lot more of the very first question. Why do we do this thing?
Yeah, right. And it's all relevant to me.
Yeah.
It's all relevant to me.
My
Crap.
favorite thing about
Oh, that was deep.
Okay.
Then it got real. The feels.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm
This
gonna have to
sucks.
listen to some Hank Williams Jr. and drink some more now. Damn it!
And midpoint.
Another one.
And midget porn, exactly.
Dylan, do you have something that you wish you could go back and do over again?
See, this is the worst time to finish it because if anybody can actually watch the show, the jar is empty.
They will see this, by the way.
They'll see this.
We
So.
are on video now.
Yeah, that's a lot of effing wrong.
Broadcast. For those of you listening and didn't know this, we do broadcast this show to Facebook Facebook, and it actually goes out as Facebook Live, right, Chris? No, it does not.
No,
I
it's
could
just-
make it a
You
Facebook
could,
Live, but
yeah.
it'd be on YouTube.
Right. So
Well-
Facebook Live, Facebook and YouTube and Twitter.
We can't on Facebook
Yeah, you can. You can preset it.
because of the music.
There's
no,
that.
they'll just take out that part of the music. They don't take out the whole video. Trust me. And
Oh,
then they
okay,
run at that
okay.
point, then they say, "Well, we can't monetize you."
Yeah, like I'm asking
Anyway.
them for money anyway.
Anyway, he's right. You
Yeah.
can find us on everywhere, and I promise you can find it through our stuff, through the Defenders Live and my page and all this other jazz. But anyway, my jar is empty. Out of
Defenders.
the quart that this is, at least 3/4 of it was rum. So this is a worse time to be asking me this question. Mine, if I changed it, would change everything. About everything.
And there's certain things you don't want to change.
Well, I part of me, yes, but there's a okay.
Dylan, do you want to answer this question, or should we move on?
No, I'm
If
going to
you-
do it. I'm going to answer
Go
it.
ahead, brother.
I'm going to answer it. And a lot of people don't know this, so this is a really weird place to be like throwing this all out there. As I said, I was in the Navy, but I was only in the Navy for about 2 years. From enlistment in June of '99 until discharge in January of 2001. I did not. I wanted it. That was my dream, was to be there. But the problem with it is, I say problem. There's no excuse. I went in at 17 years old and did not take it as seriously as I should have. Not even a little bit. I then started to piss off people in my squad, or in my particular shop in my squadron. I was coming in late, not taking, because I was backstory, I was homeschooled my entire life. And so I looked at the military as kind of an escape, and I didn't realize, holy smokes, you kind of have to be an adult now and be responsible. And when you're supposed to be somewhere, effing show up. Yeah. And so what happened is I I went to anybody who's in the military knows you have non-judicial punishment where you go before your CO or whoever of your depending. Ours was Captain Mass is what we called it. We went in front of the CO of the squadron, and I am in my dress whites in a pair of American flag boxers. And if anybody who's in the Navy knows anything about dress whites, those damn things are see-through.
Paper thin.
Oh my, and I didn't know it when I walked out of there. So I'm standing in front of my CO in American flag boxers. Long of the short is that ends up pissing him off and sends me to restriction to the ship because I was an air squadron. We didn't live on the ship like most Navy guys. We lived on a base way the hell away. I spent 30 days on the boat. During that 30 days, we went underway. Did not have any of my crap, did not have anything. In a closet, I was part of what they called first lieutenant, where we cleaned the berthings, we cleaned the rooms, and we were freaking house cleaners. That's what we were. We were housekeepers. During that time, I found a coat to keep warm and stuff because we went to the Korean Ocean in October, which is cold, very cold. Long of the short is I had become charged with 4 counts of larceny. I'd asked my roommate to borrow headphones. He said he was going to leave them on his rack. The second shift manager of my squadron saw me take them off of his rack, said I stole them. My roommate then said, yes, I stole them, until later that I was able to say that he said, and somehow or another he fessed up and said he can give them to me. We had one guy that was kicked out on drugs. His rack was completely empty. Again, my job is to clean everything. He left, this is back when the portable CD players were popular. Mine had broke. He left his. I took it. He even told the MPs and the SPs that he gave it to me. They still said I stole it. Wow, there's music. Yeah, long of the short is I got framed for 4 counts of larceny, was turned into 4 counts of wrongful appropriation and was then promptly kicked out. And had taken it seriously, granted I wouldn't be here.
Guys, that's it.
Still do change that because that's
the whole show.
Yeah.
That went by.
I know.
Thanks.
I know.
Cut. Love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.